Followed by Eyewitness News at 4.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, we have had two major legal stories dominate the news lately. The appointment of Justice Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court and, of course, the Jason Van Dyke trial. Here to help us make some sense of it all is our legal expert. He's a managing partner at GWC Law, one of Chicago's premier personal injury law firms. Welcome, Cairo. Hello.
Thank you very much.
All right, so let's dive into Justice Kavanaugh first. Whether you were on the far right, far left, whatever your opinion was, Justice Kavanaugh is now on the Supreme Court.
Yep.
What does this mean for future rulings?
Well, one thing you have to understand is this is a lifetime appointment. So someone's on there for 3 years, we'll see how it goes, or we'll elect him out. He's there for life. You have to consider the fact that he's a conservative, regardless of what your political aspirations are. You have, the ideal Supreme Court is you have 4 moderates, you have 4 more liberals, and you have a swing vote. Well, Justice Kennedy, who just retired, was the swing vote. So now we have a very conservative in his 50s, along with Justice Gorsuch in his 50s, who are both very conservative. We have a right-tilting Supreme Court, and the two of the most liberals are Ginsburg and Justice Breyer, who are both in their 80s. So you have a very, very tilted to the right. Now, that's fine, but the right, especially Judge Kavanaugh, is very pro-corporation. No restraints on regulations. Let corporations run wild. He's very anti-union. The unions built this country, especially in Chicago. We're a very strong union state. Without unions, we don't have the middle class. He's very anti-union. He has gone publicly in records and stated that Roe v. Wade, which legalized abortion, may not be the right decision. Now, that's very dangerous for a lot of people in this country who believe in the right to abortion. And he also, ironically, believes that a sitting president can't be prosecuted for crimes. So no wonder why he got nominated, right? So, you look at those things and you're thinking this is really gearing up the Supreme Court to protect big corporations and away with regulation, do away with unions, do away with abortion rights. It's really an attack on the middle class and the lower middle class to elevate the capitalists, the big corporations in the world. So I've got great concerns there. I really do.
Obviously, the hearings, we all watched them, very contentious. A lot of he said, she said with Dr. Ford. What does this do now for women who have been abused or rape victims? Are they apprehensive to come forward?
You know, the jury's out one way or the other, but if you think about it, any woman who's attacked, they say less than 1/3 of the sexual attacks are ever even told to the police because it destroys your life. There's a stigma. Oh my God, she's accusing that nice guy of doing something wrong, which is horrendous to put a woman in that predicament. So I think it's a chilling effect. They had the one effect of their social media went crazy with people saying, I had this terrible decision, I had to make the decision, and women were really coming out. But then the guy turns around and gets confirmed, and you have the President of the United States making fun of a doctor who's been abused. And really, the Trump said, I believe she was abused. I just don't think it was him because she can't remember this, she can't remember that. And he's ridiculing this poor woman. That sends a chilling effect to women.
Right. Well, and then the First Lady said you have to have evidence before you make the accusation. Yeah, there was a lot there. All right, I want to move on, Lou. I want to move on to the Jason Van Dyke trial. We obviously witnessed a historic case there, second-degree murder conviction. Were you surprised by this at all?
I wasn't surprised. Now, granted, none of us sat on the jury, right, other than the 12 that were there. We don't really know what all of the evidence was, and even more importantly, we don't know what the law is. The law in the criminal penal code could have been construed by this jury based upon the evidence to say not guilty for various reasons. I think that the jury, whatever it did, is the jury made the right decision because the 12 people came together and collectively they made a verdict. My only concern with that whole verdict is in the back of their minds were people concerned, man, if we acquit this guy, even though he probably should be convicted, if we acquit him, are they going to burn the city down? I mean,
right.
So in the back of your mind are people wondering, and I just hope that never entered into their minds when they rendered their verdict, because nobody wants to be criticized. You're the guy that was on the jury, you're a bad person, you got it wrong.
Right.
But based on what I saw, I think the jury got it right.
Yeah. Well, this was the first time we've ever seen an officer in uniform kill another person, get convicted. Will this have any long-term or short-term impact on the police force?
You'll hear things on both sides. You'll hear critics that will say you know, there's gonna be a stigma, there's gonna be a concern. Police officer's gonna never pull his gun out because he doesn't want to be the next Van Dyke, right? He doesn't want to pull that gun out and all of a sudden he's being criticized wrongly. So maybe a cop sees a guy running out of a jewelry store and just looks the other way. That could happen. That's one of the criticisms. The other criticism, the positive, though, in my opinion, and I have 5 relatives that are Chicago cops. I mean, unless you are in the military and you're out there in combat, you do not know what these people go through every day and when they're in the street. So it's a situation that's really tough. But there are some, I'm sure in every city, there are some cowboys. It's a Wild West slinging their guns. And maybe this will slow down some people a little too quick to pull their gun out because there were like 10 or more cops that were there. Not one of them ever drew their weapon. You know, so maybe that'll make people think a little bit twice. I don't care what the person's color is. I don't care what his crime is. I don't care what he's done. Unless he's holding a knife or a gun to someone's face, you don't shoot him.
Right.
Not once, not 16 times.
Right.
So hopefully that changes that a little bit.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Lou Cairo, a managing partner at GWC Law. And you can reach Lou at justicestartstoday.com. Thank you so much, Lou. Good to see you again. All right, coming up next, Chance the Rapper goes undercover in a video that is going viral. You gotta see it. We'll be right back.